The Handmaid's Tale hasn't quite ended yet, but the existence of the Testaments is easily the largest difficulty that the drama has to face in the build-up to its Season 6 finale. Throughout its 6 seasons, The Handmaid's Tale has garnered significant critical acclaim on Hulu, and a growing number of fans are optimistic about the show's potential success in its upcoming series finale. Unfortunately, much of the show has already been spoiled because of the existence of the Testaments providing a tough balancing act for the show's final season. The 2019 follow-up to The Handmaid's Tale, The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, takes place years after the events of the first book. Since the conclusion of Season 1, the plot of the Hulu series adaptation of The Handmaid's Tale has diverged from the novel, taking it in a different direction. The Handmaid's Tale universe will continue when the original series concludes, though, since Hulu has already revealed that The Testaments will be made into a television program. The Testaments removes a lot of The Handmaid's Tale, Season 6's biggest stakes. Many of the major stakes that are covered in Season 6 have previously been revealed, because The Testaments is set after the events of The Handmaid's Tale. Aunt Lydia, Hannah, and Nicole, who go by the names Agnes and Daisy, respectively, are the three primary protagonists in The Testaments. Nicole resides in Canada, while Lydia and Hannah reside in Gilead. As Hannah and Nicole band together and search for June, it becomes clear throughout the book that Aunt Lydia is actually working for Mayday and trying to destroy Gilead from inside. Details in The Handmaid's Tale are already known because of the Testaments. First of all, Hannah must remain in Gilead until she is an adult. Thus, June and Luke are unable to save her. Second, Nicole and June will eventually need to part ways. Thirdly, because June is still alive in the Testaments, she cannot die in The Handmaid's Tale. Ultimately, Aunt Lydia must eventually turn against Gilead, which means that Season 6 of The Handmaid's Tale will most likely see her become radicalized. This damages the original program by providing answers to nearly all of the major questions that remain in the final season. The Testaments means The Handmaid's Tale. Season 6 has a challenging ending. The conclusion of The Handmaid's Tale is considerably more difficult because of the Testaments. The series faces the apparently insurmountable challenge of creating a satisfying conclusion to June's character development while yet leaving the narrative open-ended. June's primary objectives have been to defeat Gilead and preserve Hannah, both of which are impossible prior to the Testaments. Since June is hiding in the follow-up novel, The Handmaid's Tale must conclude with June going into hiding after failing to achieve all of her objectives. This will be a disappointing way to wrap up The Handmaid's Tale after 6 seasons of anticipation. It is predictable, which is the biggest mistake a series finale can make, even if The Handmaid's Tale does this. Anyone familiar with the Testaments will know exactly what to expect from The Handmaid's Tale Season 6 finale. There won't be any element of surprise unless there is a significant change. When the outcome is known, it is difficult to have stakes because the audience would know that June's efforts are all for nothing. The Testaments is still exciting, despite causing problems. Although the first series of The Testaments is suffering, the follow-up series is still captivating. One of the most fascinating aspects of the novel is Aunt Lydia's journey, and it will be thrilling to watch Lydia finish her metamorphosis and emerge as a main character. In a similar vein, it will be pleasant to finally interact with adult versions of Hannah and Nicole, who are both young children with minimal screen time in The Handmaid's Tale. Since there is no sequel to The Testaments, the conclusion of the follow-up series is much less certain. The fundamental issue with The Handmaid's Tale's conclusion will be resolved when the show does not have to uphold a status quo in its conclusion. It is that The Testaments can continue the tradition of The Handmaid's Tale for a little while longer, even though it is unfortunate that the original series will have to suffer.